There are those stories that have never been told, and there are those that should never be told. It's time to huddle up and begin our journey into a world of fantasy and the unknown with Appalachian storyteller Tracy Turner.
My friend Liverpool George was a small man, wiry and tough but soft-spoken. George had one glass eye that was an ugly shade of blue which clashed something terrible with his real eye, which was brown. Then one day George met up with a glass blower, a real artist he was, someone that could make him a special red eye with a star. After that he started collecting glass eyes. They were the fanciest things you'd ever did see, with stars and pretty stripes and more colors than any real eyes could ever possibly have. When I went with George, when he placed his next order, by that time he had so many glass eyes that it was hard to please, so I kidded George that he should get an evil eye. Right away the glass blower said he could make a glass eye that was hollow so it could be filled with deadly poison. George was pleased as punch, saying that a man never knew when he might get to the place where he'd want to commit suicide. And what could be easier than to pop out the eye and pop it in his mouth and bite down? Well, me and George signed on to the same ship, and George's new eye was delivered the day before we set sail. What a creepy eye it was, too. The perfect evil eye. It was made up of rings of color that narrowed into a single red spot. If you looked at it just right, the colors ran together, and the red spot popped out and would scare the life out of you. It was hollow, too, like the men promised, and filled with a white liquid. Well, George tried that evil eye on everyone on board ship, including me. Scared the bejesus out of me, he did, and I'd already seen the blasted thing. Of course, all of us told him to lay off of it or we'd brain him, and all of us except a little cockney fellow named Bell. Everyone called Bell Ding Dong on account of his name. Bell nearly shriveled up with fright each time George appeared with the glass eye. George was tickled to death by Ding Dong Bell's reaction too, and he took to plaguing the life out of him, putting the evil eye on him whenever he passed until Ding Dong truly thought he was bewitched, he did. So the other men told Ding Dong Bell that he had to steal that evil eye. Of course, George overheard him, and he kept the eye hidden from Ding Dong. Turned out that the harder the eye was to steal, the more Ding Dong believed that stealing it was the only way to lift that curse. Well, finally, George started wearing the evil eye all the time to protect it, he claimed, though in truth it was to torment old Ding Dong. Well, sir, one day while we was docked in Port Said, George went aloft on a foot rope to scrape a spar. Well, something must have fetched loose, 'cause suddenly I heard a yell, and when I turned around, George was plummeting 40 feet, head first onto the deck. Cracked his skull open like an eggshell, and his evil eye came rolling out. This was Ding Dong Bell's chance, so he darted out from the corner and grabbed the evil eye. When he saw the mate running toward us, he popped the eye into his mouth to hide it from the mates. In less than a minute, old Ding Dong Bell started shivering, and he fell dead right there on the deck, right beside poor George. He'd accidentally bit into the eye and swallowed the poison hidden inside. Can you believe it? What with George and Ding Dong both being dead, I figured maybe there was something in that evil eye business after all. And I was real glad it was gone, too.
From the edge of the imagination, you've been listening to Appalachian storyteller and author Tracy Turner.